And of course, if you've just woken up and joined us, welcome to it. A brand new look SABC News. Thanks for joining us. Independent and impartial. That is what we strive to be going forward. And we also promised an interview with the SACP. Now, the Tripartite Alliance is working on resolving their differences ahead of next year's national government elections. Its partners met over the weekend at the South African Communist Party Central meeting, which ended yesterday. President of the African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, assured the media that after the party's elective conference in Nasrec, the alliance had a consolidated and clear position. And joining us now is SACP First Deputy General Secretary Solly Mapaila. Mr. Mapaila, welcome to a brand new look SABC News.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we appreciate this new brand look. We hope it will really be independent and impartial and informative, of course.
And of course, we welcome that you will hold us to it, to this promise that we are making to the broader South African public. But to business we go, and after this weekend's meeting, let me just start by asking you, following the Nasrec conference, and we saw the alliance probably at its lowest going into that conference, how would you assess the working relationship between the three alliance partners right now?
Well, much more improved working relations. We've already held very important meetings discussing critical questions, and there's been a collective approach to those questions. This shows how, for instance, the alliance should function. We still have to define a clear program, joint program, based on the outcome of our own conferences, so that we roll out that particular program together. But at the same time, we've already rolled out some of the programs that we have long agreed to do. For instance, the fight against corruption. You have seen the president leading that particular campaign, living to his promise, intervening in places like ESCOM, in SAS, in other areas, as well as instituting the Commission of Inquiry that the SACP was the first to call for inside the alliance. And that is quite encouraging, and it's able now to give us clearly to focus on the issues that affect the people of our country, the question of land, the question of health services, the rollout of the national health insurance. We want to put our hands now onto those kind of problems so that our people are able to live better.
But it's a point of getting beyond the rhetoric now. You talk about the national health insurance, listening to the health ombud, Malekapuru Makgoba, yesterday, and he says our health system is collapsing. It's not on the brink, it's not on the verge, it is collapsing.
Yes, we had a Minister of Health, Comrade Aaron Motsoaledi, to come and talk to us, and we understand those realities. That is why we are now focusing on those areas. One of the major problems with that is because the resources that covers the health of the nation, it's skewed in one side that is saving the elite and the rich in society. For instance, the national budget for health broadly, it's about 8.5% of the national budget. Of that 8.5, 4.1, it's saving 84% of the people of the country, whereas 4.4 saves about 16% of the people, which means majority of the people are sharing the barest minimum. That is why at the core of the national health insurance is the creation of a common fund that will fund all of our health system. So it doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. When you go to any hospital, you should receive the same quality of service.
And I think we will pick up on this conversation at a later stage. But just, to leave it here, looking at where you are at currently as the Tripartite Alliance, what would you say are the stickiest of points right now that you are perhaps struggling to resolve?
Yes, we are dealing with perhaps, if you like, the residues of discontent from inside some of the factions that had thought that they created a culture of misbehavior, of ill discipline, of looting state resources, of entitlement. Now that period has come to an end, and they're failing to adjust. And I think internally those are major issues that we need to make sure that we are clear about that, so that people are aware when you are sent either into any other deployment, is because you are going there to serve the people wholeheartedly, not your own petty personal interest. And like any other person, you must go out there in society and function for yourself. That's why we've made opportunities not only for those who are deployed, but for every South African, so that they can use those to improve their lives, and they can use this, the skills that they receive and live anywhere else in the world. But those are the critical questions on how to approach them, how to deal with internal factionalism that people now want to actually take over the organization and use them as their own instruments of self-enrichment. It is those features that we're currently finalizing, but otherwise, at the same time, we're putting the critical programs of improving the lives of our people and making sure that our government are able to function. The intervention in Northwest was extremely important and excellent by government. There's political killings in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We need a decisive intervention and stopping those killings immediately. And people must know there will be consequences for such kind of actions.
Mr. Solly Mapaila, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. And we're going to go to a quick spot break. And when we come back,